Hello and welcome to another Relics of Hyrule video guide video. Today's Relics of Hyrule video guide video is all about the Kakariko Village. So Kakariko Village, once you have gained access to the Freezing Caves, you have access to Kakariko Village. Just find Kakariko Chapel, and Bob's your uncle. Here's Kakariko Chapel on the outside. And here's another area called Kakariko Barracks. Now, here's the thing. When I made the Freezing Caves, I did want to add Kakariko Village proper. I didn't have the ability, I didn't know how. And I finally figured out how. So Kakariko Village has actually been in the mod for a while. And there's a few things to find. Kakariko Barracks is pretty rich in items. There's the Scout Helmet. There's Linkless Crossbow, which is good. I'll show you how that works. Blue Ring Armor, there's a Broadsword, there's a helmet, there's Gold Dust, and then there's Remembering Hyrule, which is a really good story. Remembering Hyrule. Terminant Shield, guaranteed Terminant Shield, and then there's a prayer book, which is all sort of scuffed out and you can't really read it. But if you figure out which if you sort of read between the lines and see which ones are missing, you'll see. You'll figure out who they're praying to. But the bottom lines, it says, "To you we now pray. Oh, to you we now pray," saying that they have forsaken the goddesses, the golden goddesses, and now they're praying to other gods. So that's Kakariko Barracks. Kakariko Village itself, there's a lot to see. Also, yeah, this happens pretty much every time. If you leave Kakariko Barracks, there's a purple sky, and it kind of looks like the Soul Cairn, but then it starts with the the snowstorm again. So let's go this way. We have Kakariko Graveyard, which there are a ton of gravestones. There are actually 300 gravestones. I think 364, and around 100 are readable. I want to swim in both directions at once, desire success, court failure. That's a quote by Alan Rickman. At some point I'll make a video going through each and every gravestone and telling you where they came from. Yulia, this is for a long forgotten light at the end of the world. That's a quote from a Nightwish song. So yeah, we'll get through that. But yeah, Kakariko Graveyard is one heck. That is a graveyard if I've ever seen one. And then the further you go, you see them. See these guys. They're weird, but they don't talk to you, and they also, if you try to hit them, they're invincible. They just wander around, and they kind of just look at things, and they watch. And there's more of them. They're all over the place. They're exploring Kakariko Village, and they don't seem to be bothered by the wind. Or the snow. There's ruined houses. In fact, these ruined houses line up with the Freezing Caves. This is the smithy. You can see the old smith. And things have been sort of ruined. It's what's left of Kakariko Village. Now, it isn't necessarily the 4th era. This is essentially Kakariko Village after everyone is gone. There's no definitive answer when this is, but we just know that it's not the 4th era, it's earlier. And also, there's actually some... You can actually see underground. If you use TFC, there is actually... For instance, right here, the way I made this was I copied and pasted the Freezing Caves underground, and I just lined everything up. So there's some bits and pieces of the Freezing Caves under here, like this platform, and then there's also I believe there's a forget where it is. There's a trap door. There's a ladder under here. That's a fun thing to look for with the console. There's trees, most of which have been knocked over for wood. And then over this way, if you go further in here, there's a buried tree. There's a gate that would normally lead to Death Mountain, but it has been crumbled and there's rubble, probably from Death Mountain erupting. Kakariko Village was miraculously saved from the eruption of Death Mountain, but they still all died. But you don't find any corpses, which is interesting. Some people have said, well, why aren't there any corpses? There is a reason. There is actually a reason. And if you read between the lines of the lore and find little bits and pieces, you can actually find out what the reason is. Here's the Hylian Uka armor. So, well, first of all, this is just 0-0. So this doesn't line up with anything. Oh, maybe it does. Yeah. Maybe. But, so there's the tower with the glowing ball. There's the smithy, and if you look this way, north of the smithy, behind this tree, you'll find the Hylian Uka armor. Oh, I forgot to show you Lincol's crossbow, didn't I? Lincol's crossbow is strong. It's also pretty fast. Oh, I don't have any bolts. I don't have any bolts at all. Okay, well, if I had bolts, I would show you. It's fast, and it's good. It's not quite as good as the hero's crossbow, but it is good. And there are two, so you can have two Linkless crossbows. They're not here. There's one in Forgotten Cavern, there's one here. There's little things, little implications about how things line up in modern-day Skyrim. Anyway, so we have them. There are other instances of armor in the Watchtower here, or whatever this used to be. We have another instance of Hylian armor. It used to be that you could find like all sorts of different kinds of armor, but I have changed that. There's the well. I think there's also a ruined windmill somewhere. Ruined houses, houses that don't have basements, houses you can't access in the freezing caves. Oh, a rock. But yeah, Kakariko Village is one heck of a place. I really love how the graveyard turned out. I'm really proud of the graveyard. And sometimes people suggest new gravestones. They've all got someone else. Still, that's fine. I'm fine. Sometimes people suggest new gravestones. I'm not really interested in adding new gravestones. There are already so many. And some of these I kind of want to get rid of, honestly. Some of them are a little silly. That one's okay. I can't really find any right now. But I think the graveyard is fine. So I think I'm going to leave it alone. Finally, one of the most important things about Kakariko Village is that's how you access the archive. So that big glowing ball, that's been in the mod for years. And only recently have I actually added what that glowing ball is supposed to be. This crystal is actually pretty new. This was not here, but in 6.6 I added it. And then you can see further, there's a little bit of a gap there that I'm going to have to fill in. And you can see some mountains in the distance. But you can see further, and no, I'm not adding Market Town, I'm not adding the castle or anything. Kakariko Village is the only bit of Hyrule that you'll be able to see. But if you climb this tower, which you weren't able to do, and then come up here, you have to get pretty close. But if you get close enough to that you're right under the cube, you can actually access the archive. And that's where they come from. And the archive is its own video. But it's a museum space for Relics of Hyrule. And I'll cover that in its own video. There's one final thing in Kakariko Village, also very important. We'll find the gravestone that gives you that hint. Oh, there's a couple's mask between Anju and Cafe. So there's a couple's mask in the graveyard. And then there's also some little Easter eggs scattered throughout. There's the Hylian shield. We'll get to that. But right here is a shovel. At home with the dead more than he ever was with the living. And it's Dampé's shovel. And Dampé's shovel is actually a battle axe. So you can wield Dante's shovel. Which is pretty fun. It's a functional battle axe. Another thing is there's another Easter egg in the graveyard. I believe it's this one. Oh, well, there's one. That's a reference to Breath of the Wild. Let's see. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck, No. I'm sure you'll do the right thing. So my character's name is No. So whatever your character's name is, I'm going to rename him. Whatever your character's name is, it will always read your character's name. So that's not creepy at all. And then there's the... Oh, there's this one. So there's a black gravestone, which we'll get to. It's right next to the... It's right above Anju's. It's very close to the couple's mask. But there's that gravestone with the Hylian shield. And if you read the gravestone, it's a normal Hylian shield. If you read the gravestone, it says, McNitpick, this soup is too bitter. The implication is that he was poisoned. Because he was really annoying and he was complaining about nonsense and things that don't matter. And the reason why there's a Hylian shield is because people have told me that the Hylian shield is too small. Which it is not too small at all. This is proportionate to Hylian shields that Link has wielded. It is a normal-sized shield. And because of the way it's held and because of its shape, you can't see it in the first person until you block. Which, yeah, that's a little odd, but the Hylian shield is not too small. It's a heater shield. Whatever. Anyway, but that's the whole idea with Nitpick, which I've already lost his gravestone. Good riddance. But there's one more thing, and that is if you use the Eye of Truth in Kakariko Village, or in Kakariko Graveyard, this trapdoor to the Shadow Temple appears. And that is its own video, the Shadow Temple. And this is actually Impa's gravestone. Royal Handmaiden, Elder of Kakariko, Sage of Shadow, see with eyes long closed. Which is basically telling you, use the Eye of Truth, you dingus. Okay, that's pretty much it for Kakariko Village. If there's something I missed, let me know. I will do another video where I go through every single gravestone and tell you sort of the origins of each one. But until then, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And enjoy the mod. There's a lot of stuff to see. We're just scraping the surface of it.